evening. Thank you to the Hollyglen Homeowners Association for inviting the League of Women Voters of the Beach Cities to co-sponsor your election candidates forum. I'm Barbara Arlo from the League of Women Voters of the Beach Cities. The League of Women Voters is where hands-on work to safeguard democracy leads to civic improvement. We encourage you to join the League of Women Voters and be directly involved in shaping the important issues to keep our community strong, safe, and vibrant. The League was organized in 1920 when women first gained the right to vote. The purpose then, like today, was to promote active, informed citizen participation at all levels of government through education and advocacy. We're a grassroots organization. All voting-age citizens, both female and male, are welcome. The League is nonpartisan. We do not support or oppose any political party or candidates. We have two roles: citizen education, which we call voter service, and advocacy. We are here today as part of voter service. Just a couple of introductions. The timekeeper from the League is Peggy Bartlett. She's over there. The question sorter by the entrance is Susan Grebe. Susan and I will screen questions into topics, trying to avoid duplication and personal attacks. Please address your question to all the candidates and title your card City Council or Mayor. And please print clearly, and one question per card, please. This is the time when the City Council candidates have all chosen by lot their position in the forum. The candidates will have 1.5 minutes to make an opening statement. I will read the written questions from the audience for the candidates. If you have a question, please raise your hand for a card and again for collection. And please address your question to all the candidates and print clearly. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to each question. Each candidate will have 1 minute for a closing statement. Closing statements will be made in the reverse order of the opening statements. The timekeeper, Peggy Bartlett, will indicate when the candidate has 30 seconds left and when the time has elapsed. Candidates are expected to promptly relinquish the floor. The candidates will all speak from where they are sitting now. Since tonight's forum is designed to provide a nonpartisan setting for voters to hear all positions, we ask that there be no demonstrations of support or opposition to the candidates or their positions. And please hold your applause until the end of the program. And we're starting with the opening statements. And we're starting with Angie Reyes English.
Good evening, Angie Reyes English. I am a resident of more than 25 years. I am a mother of 3 daughters. I am a grandmother. I am your councilwoman for the last 4 years, and prior to that, city clerk. I have worked hard in the state assembly in my everyday work and also in the state senate. I have the opportunity to continue that and to be the voice of Hawthorne in leading Hawthorne in the right direction. I hope that tonight that you'll listen to what it is that my vision is for Hawthorne and ultimately flourish Hawthorne, and more importantly, that you read the literature that is here tonight that I have at the back table, so that could give you an opportunity to see the results that I have made in the last 4 years. More than that, how I've worked hard for the residents here in Hawthorne and continue to do that in my everyday work. Thank you.
Mike Toledo.
My name is Mike Toledo. I'm a candidate for City Council. I've been in Hawthorne since 1976. I came here as a young man. I got a real estate license, and I started selling real estate for a company called Archer Finch Properties. Within a couple of months, I was a manager. Within a few months after that, with a year or so, I got a broker's license. I've been in my own brokerage ever since I was 27. I have a lot of experience in training people, hiring people, making tough decisions, making things happen. I started a foundation about 10 years ago to help our military families, our widows, and more recently our wounded guys. I have a lot of experience in that nonprofit. I believe that Hawthorne is at a crossroads right now, and they're going to need good people that can negotiate on its behalf, that can do things for that boulevard, that can maybe bring some people together for the mall, and it's going to need some people with experience in getting things done. And I want to be part of that group anyway. That's the main reason I think I have a lot to offer in that area.
Thank you. Francis Stiglich.
Yes, my name is Francis Stiglich, and I've been in the City of Hawthorne for 68 years. And I've even gotten the city clerk that was living in Hawaii, to step down and be replaced. I worked real hard. Every time I see something that the city council doesn't do right, I go up there and I'm telling them, let's change something. I don't like it, and no one has said that I was doing anything wrong. But I go up there and I do help a lot of people. Like in the seniors, there's a lot of people that live in apartments, and they're afraid to go to the manager and say something because they're afraid they're going to get kicked out. So I tell them what they're going to do. So I help them out a lot. And I help everybody that asks me any question. I'll go right to the city hall and get to the basics of all. And I want to help you people. I'm your servant. You're not mine. And anytime you feel you want to bring something up, call me. My telephone number is 310-676-1820, and I'm sure I'll help you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Katrina Manning.
Good evening. I'd first like to say thank you to Hollyglen for putting on this forum. I also like to say thank you to the Women League of Voters for hosting this. My name is Katrina Manning, and I am a candidate for Hawthorne City Council. I've been a resident for 24 years. My husband was born and raised here, and we're raising my 10-year-old daughter, Sophia. Also, I am currently the president of Hollyglen Homeowners Association, also founder of Movies in the Park, and former Parks and Recs commissioner. And the reason I'm running, because I want to see change in the city of Hawthorne. If the city of Inglewood can move their city forward, I know that we can. I see a vision for our city that hasn't been done as of today. And so I'm here to see our city flourish. I know that we can. I know that we can move forward. We have the capacity to move forward. We have SpaceX here, who's a huge, huge company. And I like to see more jobs. I know that SpaceX is going to be bringing in 2,700 jobs over the next 4 or 5 years. Just imagine if SpaceX can expand and bring more jobs to the city of Hawthorne. That's what I want to see, more jobs, more economic development, more after-school programs. Senior Citizen Commission. Help our senior citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Alex Vargas.
Hi, everyone. My name is Councilman Alex Vargas, and I've served you for the last 4 years as your council member. Previous to that, I was your civil service commissioner for about 6 years. My parents moved here in 1971, and I've lived here ever since. I'm really happy about that. Went to the local schools. I even played here at Dana on the Stingrays for the AYSO League, so I'm really happy about that. It's right across the street. I received my bachelor's and my master's in physics, and I worked as a local aerospace engineer at Raytheon, and I see a couple of my co-workers from back then, so I'm glad to see them here. So there's a lot of things that I'd like to talk to you and share about successes, and we'll discuss that during the course of this day today. And I'm really proud that today I received the local 1014, the firefighters that serve the city of Hawthorne. I received their endorsement today, along with the Hawthorne Police Officers Association. So definitely would love your support through your vote on November 5th. And we can continue this job, the things that we've started. There's a lot of things that we have in progress. So thank you.
Thank you. Gordon Michael Migo.
Hawthorne, California. New era on the horizon. Hello, everyone. My name is Gordon Michael Migo, native and resident of Hawthorne since October the 8th, 1952. I love this city, which I grew up in, and I've seen it change and grow in many different ways. Over the years, I have worked as a mechanical engineer in the aerospace industry, salesperson in the retail trade, administrative aide in various capacities. Since the early 1970s, I have developed and maintained contacts with government officials, corporate executives, organization leaders, and other individuals whom I have worked with on important issues that affect the lives of people in our communities. As a community leader, I have been honored by the Hawthorne City Council with a certificate of appreciation February 22nd of 2010 for my efforts in leading the way in regards to the Hawthorne Mall and the RK Hospital and other. And on April 21st, 2013, my volunteer work for the Hawthorne Historical Society, amongst other organizations. I am a member of the Hawthorne Economic Development Council, which is working on revitalization of our city, especially the downtown area. That will create many new jobs and improve the quality of life.
Thank you. First question, there are two questions that seem to go together. I'll read them both. The intersection of 135th and Glasgow is a fatality waiting to happen. Despite Hawthorne PD's efforts to ticket motorists that daily nearly run down school children, pedestrians, strollers, and bicyclists, would you, if elected or retained, work to get warning signs or a motion detection crosswalk installed? Would you use your $3,000 discretionary funds to help prevent tragedy? And the other one is, what is your position on the $3,000 stipend each candidate receives to give to organizations in Hawthorne? And we're starting with Mike Toledo.
Well, I think that there's no reason, I mean, that absolutely I would take care of that problem. Every other neighborhood, when they need bumps on the road or they need a stop sign, they go to the city council, they scream bloody murder, and they get what they need. And so I would certainly be one of those that would want to put speed bumps or warning signs or whatever have you, particularly so close to a school. So, I mean, I don't want to sound, but that would be like a no-brainer. And then the other one, in terms of, I run a nonprofit helping our wounded guys. I like it when the city council will support an event that we do. It's not a whole lot of money. I also sit on the oversight board here, and I see the millions of dollars. So, you know, $20,000 or $25,000 spent over 5 or 6 city council members to be able to say thank you to a nonprofit. It's a good deal.
Thank you. Francis Stiglich.
Anything to make it safety. Bumps, bicycle paths, anything to make it safety for the kids and within the city. I'd do my utmost. Anytime anybody wants to put a stop sign or a bump, come to me. I'll go up there and beg until we get it. And I don't stop because I've been doing this for 40 years. And about that $3,000, I guess that's to help the poor. And I'm for it. Anything that will help poor. And they can donate it to different organizations. And I like that. And I thank you very, very much for listening.
Thank you. Katrina Manning.
Why wait? We can work on that right now. After this forum is over, you can come and see me and we'll get it together. Currently in the city on 116th in Holly Park, I also work with other neighbors in our neighborhood to do a petition so that we can get speed bumps. And we were successful in getting speed bumps in Holly Park. In addition to that, the Cimarron principal contacted me, and they wanted to implement a safety valet program for their school. And we got together, we got petitions, we submitted that to the council, and successfully they were able to get that program implemented. So if you want that, you need it, come and see me tonight. We don't have to wait until we're elected. I can make that happen tonight. And as far as the $3,000, I think it's important that each council member get that, because that helps organizations get money that can't normally get money. Sorry.
Thank you. Alex Vargas.
Yes, I think that this safety is definitely on top priority on my list, and we have a great public works department head person that could take a look at the situation, do the necessary studies to make sure that we implement the correct safety remedy for the situation. It might not be what you might think. It might be something that might even be more effective. So we got to put our people to work on that. And I think the issue of the $3,000 stipend, I mean, we're mixing it up, because the $3,000 stipend is something that we can only offer to nonprofits that would like to have an event or some type of conference that they would benefit the residents of Hawthorne. Since I might not be able to use the $3,000, then I would work with my fellow council members all together to find the right type of money to fund the buying of the new safety features, whether it's stop signs or whatever it may be. So definitely, I think we'll probably end up taking it to the city council and directing our public works staff after this.
Thank you. Gordon Michael Migo.
In regards to the safety issue of the corner of 135th and Glasgow, I drive through the neighborhood on many occasions, and have seen some of which has spoken about people blowing through stop signs or making half attempts or whatever. And it can be scary sometimes for those that are pedestrians. I know, like on the street that I live, 141st Street between Hawthorne and Ramona, at the corner of 141st Street and Ramona, we had the whole block of people sign a petition. We contacted our neighborhood, our council member that lives in our neighborhood, Nilo, and basically, one step at a time, we got there, and now we have a four-way stop sign. As far as the $3,000 stipend, which has been mentioned, is for directing to various events that are put on by nonprofit organizations, like, for instance, like the Hawthorne Historical Society puts on the Good Neighbors Day event.
Thank you. Angie Reyes English.
Public safety is a priority for me, and so are schools. Although we don't have jurisdiction over the schools, we still have to assure and facilitate that our students and our kids are coming home safely and going to school safely. So absolutely, I would want to work with anyone in our community, parents who have a concern with regards to a certain location or area. Second of all, the stipend that is used to help in organizations and those that want to ultimately provide a service to the community is very important. I've done that in the last 4 years with my service provider fair very successfully, and just recently with the Hawthorne Pet Extravaganza, in which I provided assistance to a school board member to make sure that that event took place. Whatever I could do. Moreover, I've received the endorsements of Hawthorne PD, including the Sheriff's Department and 4 other law enforcement agencies, and I'm proud to know that they understand exactly what I'd like to do to help more in those efforts.
If you are running against an incumbent, what will you do to improve that office? If you are an incumbent, what will you do in the future if reelected? And we're starting with Francis Stiglich.
If I were what? An incumbent?
If you are running against an incumbent, what will you do to improve that office?
Well, I'll do my utmost. I want to have the people give me ideas. I want to work with their ideas. I want to make them happy. I would do my utmost to go door to door, if I have to make the town safe and everybody happy in it. Every person here is very, very dear to me. I've been in Hawthorne for 68 years, and let me tell you, I've seen the good and the bad and the ugly. And Soon I'll write a book on it. And if you take my sign and keep my sign, you'll get an autograph book when I'm through. Because soon as I get through with the
Thank you.
campaigning, I'm going to start on the book.
Thank you, Katrina Manning.
First of all, I like to make sure that we have more collaborative efforts amongst each council member to do more community engagement. We have a lot of events that a lot of council members do separately, and I think it's important that we unify and do more events together, and to also have more things that the community need, like more job fairs and more events that the community needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex Vargas.
What will I do? I'll continue being out here with the community at their community association meetings, supporting the local groups, the different neighborhood associations. I love that. I thrive on that. I really enjoy seeing like my residents happy, the community happy. And I do guide myself by 3 principles. I call them Hawthorne values, and it's really working hard for the community, being fair in my decisions, and being respectful of the residents and their time and their concerns. And there's one central question that I use every single time I make a decision when I'm on the dais. How is this vote that I'm about to take going to increase the quality of life for all residents? That's the central question that I ask myself, and I think the rest of my council member mates should be asking themselves. And that's something I will continue to do so.
Thank you. Gordon Michael Migo.
Yeah, I believe it's really, really very important to be constantly engaged with the people in the communities. I do that on a daily basis myself. I'm pretty much in different parts of the city at various times during the day and various days of the week. And I pretty much have a very good understanding of what the people want, where they want the city to go. And they very much talk about our Hawthorne Mall, the RFK Hospital, amongst other things. There's numerous things that need to be done. And basically, you have to have that can-do attitude, the go-getter. And you just have to work with your colleagues and make sure that everybody understands that, first and foremost, the City of Hawthorne and the residents and the business community that is within has to be uppermost in their minds. And that's where I will focus my attention thoroughly.
Thank you. Angie Reyes English.
I'm going to try and remember the question. There are 2 open seats. I am not running against anyone. I've held city clerk for 4 years and city council currently. I'm probably the most seasoned and experienced individual on the council today. I'm proud of the work that I have done in helping the residents in Hawthorne. Moreover, drafting policy and resolutions that ultimately move the city forward. And it's my hope that the residents here will know that our city is a city that is flourishing. Although it's been somewhat stagnant for a little bit with certain areas of the city, I believe that we are heading in the right direction. I believe I have that strong voice to do that, and I hope to receive your support on November 5th.
Mike Toledo.
Ever since I was a young man working in real estate, all I've ever done is solve problems. That's all we do in that business. And you get used to doing that, and you get used to making things that look very, very difficult to other people, and you make it happen. And so, over the years, I've acquired that confidence and that knowledge that I can do what a lot of other people can't. When the towers came down in New York, I started a foundation. I raised some money and put money in the hands of a woman whose husband had been killed in the tower. That may not seem like much, but it was a pretty big accomplishment. And from that, a foundation began. And so all the challenges that go into doing things like that, I want to be able to put to use in Hawthorne. And Hawthorne needs some help right now. I love everybody on that council, some more than others. But there's only 2 seats. I wish there was 4. But I think that I have a talent and I can bring it to the table.
Thank you. As a council member, what will you do to help the Hawthorne Chamber? Katrina Manning.
Well, first of all, we would definitely meet and find out what the needs are of the chamber. There's a lot that could be done. There's a lot that needs to be done with the chamber. And I feel like currently the current council has not been working with the chamber. So I think it's important, if you have a business chamber, in order to grow the city, you need to work with the chamber to also move the city when you talk about jobs, when you talk about bringing in new businesses. So I think it's really important that we sit down with the chamber and discuss whatever issues that we have. And once we discuss those issues, we talk about how can we move forward? What can we do to bring in more jobs, to bring in more businesses? We need a plan. We need a plan, and we need to move forward on that plan, and we need that plan now. Thank you.
Thank you. Alex Vargas.
I think the Chamber of Commerce is definitely very central in bringing in economic development to the city. And we need to help them as much as possible, help them build their websites, maybe help them out with some of their events, and support them even if it comes down to financially. A lot of other cities do it, but our city unfortunately doesn't. I and Councilwoman Olivia Valentine value the Chamber of Commerce, and I think my other council members do so. But when it comes to stepping up to the plate to support them, I don't know if they share my ideas. But what I think I'm going to continue doing is being steadfast in that goal and to help them and getting them some help in order to help them grow.
Thank you. Gordon Michael Migo.
Yeah, what I hear from the residents and business people that are out there, and I do talk to quite a number of business people at all different levels, and what they are saying to me is that there seems to be a bit of a constant conflict between the city, the chamber, and various other entities within the city, and they can't seem to all get on the same page, and so the city can move forward. And in my interest, in my mind, is that the Chamber of Commerce should be located within our civic center. It should be part and parcel of our city hall, the library. It should be right there so that the business community and everybody that associated can work on the very necessary business of improving the businesses on the boulevard, including the mall, and bringing in the hundreds and thousands of jobs that can and should be brought in.
Thank you. Angie Reyes English.
I believe that the Chamber of Commerce should be asking it the same question. What can it do to help itself? The Chamber is a nonprofit organization that has a board and a president. I'm aware that the Chamber for many years has not been as active with businesses. Why? Because businesses have been telling me that there's only membership and there's nothing more. A chamber should be able to provide for businesses that could flourish. How it is a business can grow their business, whether it's a small business, a large business, a micro business. How they could acquire dollars to expand their business. How do I know this? Through my work in the Assembly and State Senate. The Chamber is part of the district that I helped and worked in and facilitated. The Chamber needs to do more as a board. It's not the City Council that doesn't want to work with them. It's that they have to do more to show that they are, in fact, working and doing more to provide to those businesses, large and small. I'd be more than willing to assist the Chamber once I know that the Chamber is about the work of the business and the people and not bureaucracy.
Thank you. Mike Toledo.
Well, the Chamber is an organization like many other trade organizations, and it's pretty much up to them to be relevant. The city can't make them relevant, and the members can't make them relevant. They have to become relevant themselves. So whatever changes need to happen, they have to come from within the Chamber. It's nice to have the support of the City Council. And I'm a businessman in town, and I've had the feeling for a long time that there's no place to turn when I have a problem. But the chamber is very necessary, and I would certainly help in any way that I could if I was on that council. But the change has to come from within the organization, because they're the ones that are getting the money. You're paying them for a particular service. If you're paying them for a service and on top of that you got to come in and do their job, then something's wrong. But,
Thank you. Francis Stiglitz.
Yes, chambers is very, very necessary. And I think that they're not working hard enough to get businesses and helping them out. They should have a list of things that they can solve. So it seems like they're neglecting the businesses, and they should go forward and tell all the businesses, whenever you need some help, we're going to solve that problem. And once they solve that problem, then maybe the city can go on forward. So I'm for the chamber, but they should work harder and harder and harder. And I thank you.
Thank you. The next question is about billboards. It says, do you support billboards in Hawthorne? And whatever your position is, could you explain it, please? More than just a yes and no. And we're starting with Alex Vargas.
Well, okay, so the official thing that my official answer for this is that, I do support billboards if they're allowed within the city code. And currently, our city code says that they're not allowed, electronic billboard signs. So anything outside of that, we as a city council may have to make sure that it doesn't happen. So it's our duty to be able to respect what's in our code. And if something like that has happened, that shouldn't have happened, where something was built that was out of line, then we as a city council have to correct it and take responsibility for it and take action on that.
Thank you. Gordon Michael Migo.
Yeah, there are two kinds of billboards. You have your, your static papered over type, and then you have your electronic billboards. Some of the ones that you see along Inglewood Avenue are, just a visual blight, and quite honestly, I'm not too thrilled with a lot of these, big billboards. But as far as like electronic billboards, if used in a limited fashion and well placed, let's say along a major freeway like the 105 or the 405. And it has been suggested by some business people that in the case of the Hawthorne Mall, for shopping, dining, and entertainment, it could be a great advertising point there, along with city events, community events that are going on, and to let people out there traversing the freeways. So I would support electronic billboards that say along the one on the 105 freeway and one, say, on the 405 freeway. But again, it has to be done tastefully or properly.
Thank you. Angie Reyes English.
I heard billboards. I would be in support of billboards for the simple reason of a funding source, an economic source that could come for revenues for Hawthorne. With regards to electronic signs, I'm not too sure. It would have to be with discretion, and it would also have to be on whether or not this would be something that we'd want to see ultimately in our city. I believe there's some positive and some negative. However, those are things that we have to weigh out when they do come to our city. I do know that our city could ultimately benefit from it. However, it's also based off of the current policy and ordinances that we currently have, and whether or not, with discretion, those could be altered.
Thank you. Mike Toledo.
I sit on the board, oversight board. There's 7 other members there. One of the members is superintendent of the Centinela School District. And he was just in a conversation, I was just eavesdropping, and he said that they put up some billboards that are funding their athletic department, and that these billboards have their back to all the homes and just to the freeway, and nobody sees them, and that they're funding their athletic budget, which is about $500,000. So when somebody, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to take a look at that and see how I would feel about that once I have a lot more information than just a flat yes or a no. But if there's a way to do it in a way that it's a win-win for everybody, then I would be open to taking a look at that. But you have to have a lot more information than to give a yes or a no.
Thank you. Francis Stiglitz.
The billboards. I don't think that billboards should be real big. If they are, just a little somewhere along the road. So at one time, they used to have them on the post on the farms, and so you had miles and miles, but they're only about 12 by 12, and it was fun to read them. But I don't like billboards. It makes the city look ugly. There's too many of them all around, and some of them are big, especially at the county. Now, we on the side of the freeway is Inglewood, and that's county, and they got a lot of big billboards going up and down, and I'm on that street all the time, and I don't like them. I think they're ugly.
Thank you. Katrina Manning.
Yes, I would be in favor of billboards. Definitely electronic billboards. One of the reasons I would be because, like the Amber Alert, I think it's important when I get on the freeway and I see that Amber Alert, I pay attention to that. And so the other reason would be to generate revenue. I think it's a great way to generate revenue. But also, I would definitely be cautious in terms of what type of billboards that we would allow, and it definitely has to be tastefully done. But I'm definitely in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you. With a significant lack of hospital care in the LA region, of which Hawthorne is at the epicenter, what are your ideas for reopening the RFK Medical Center in our city? We're starting with Gordon Michael Migo.
Well, that's a good question for me because I've been part of a group of residents, business people, civic leaders that are essentially working on that as I talk. That we have potential suitors that would be interested in taking over the site. There's, in one case, Avante Health Systems of Manhattan Beach that owns Memorial Hospital, Gardena Doctors Hospital, East LA, amongst others. There's a businessman up in Beverly Hills, a commercial property owner, who's expressed a similar interest as well. And we've been having recurring talks with Providence Little Company Mary, amongst others. So what we're looking at is a nonprofit public-private partnership, which there's a variety of different funding mechanisms. On the private side, the Annenberg Foundation has expressed interest. On the public side, you have county, state, and federal monies that could come into play. So we have a lot of great potential, and it can happen. Like I said, can-do spirit, everybody working together, make it happen.
Thank you. Angie Reyes English.
Well, realistically speaking, that hospital does not belong to Hawthorne. It's independently owned. It's two developers that own it. It's been shut down for many years. At one point, they were approved for housing. However, that never came about because of the economic downturn. Today, I would be willing to work with individuals, or more than individuals, with organizations and those that provide healthcare agencies such as Little Company of Mary, Vasek Polak Clinic, and those facilities that are readily available to us today. That hospital is a hospital that I'm only one person. It needs a lot of help, a lot of money, and I don't know if the city could help in those efforts. We already know that we did that previously, giving Gold's Gym $2.5 million, and what happened? Bankrupt. We're stuck with the bill. So today, as a council member, I want to make sure that we're working to not see that happen ever again, but most importantly, provide resources that businesses and the city could ultimately flourish together. However, it's something that business owner needs to work on in how they could get that open.
Thank you. Mike Toledo.
Boy, that's a question that came up on just about every forum about that hospital. And, basically that's private property. My understanding is it would take a small fortune just to retrofit that hospital, that it's not feasible, that the city doesn't own it, that the city doesn't have any money. The question is would it be nice for us to have a hospital in Hawthorne? Absolutely. Can the city do something about that? I don't know. I don't know what the coffers, the money that we have available, how that functions. But I do know that private property is private property, and I don't think anybody would buy that property. And I don't think that there's enough money in the city to do that project. That would have to be a private project, and you'd have to find somebody that's willing put, $50, $100 million into that project. That's a lot of money. But yeah, it would be wonderful. It would be wonderful to just, open it up.
Thank you, Francis Stiglitz.
Yes, I would like to see a hospital there, but it's privately owned, and it's up to the owners to get someone. I wish they would get Mayo Clinic. I'm from Minnesota, and Mayo Clinic, boy, if we had Mayo Clinic in there, they'd all love us. So try and get Mayo Clinic in there. In fact, I'll write to Mayo Clinic and see what happens, because I've been there. I love the Mayo Clinic because people all over the world come to Mayo Clinic to cure themselves. So I'm for it. Mayo Clinic in Hawthorne. Thank you.
Katrina Manning.
I've been a realtor for the last 11 years. And being a realtor, you run into investors all the time. Investors looking for opportunity. And I look at it as an opportunity. Ask that investor if they were willing to come to the City of Hawthorne and take on buying that property. Yes, we need a hospital. I think it's really important that we have one. But in the short term, I think we should focus on bringing in urgent care clinics until we can find an investor. Again, the city of Inglewood was able to have somebody come in and buy the farm, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And if they can find investors to come in and buy the farm, I'm sure that there's somebody in this world would have an interest in buying our hospital, especially knowing that SpaceX is in our city, bringing jobs, growing our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex Vargas.
Well, saying that this facility is not the property of the City of Hawthorne is taking the easy way out. I think we as council members, it's our duty to be able to make the introductions, make the connections between those different medical companies to the owners of this location, just like we should be for the Hawthorne Mall. Okay, everybody up here wants to take credit after everybody goes and sets up shop, but we have to take an active part in introducing these people. One of the things that I've been active in is connecting Kaiser Permanente, Altamed, even the Knights of Columbus, who are considering a retirement home there. And the owner of the location has said that he would like to have an assisted living facility there. There haven't been any takers because it doesn't pencil out, correct. The medical industry is not a good, healthy, money-making industry right now for these people. But again, we need to be taking an active part. In the meantime, there are a lot of health clinics along Hawthorne Boulevard that we as council members can refer the community to.
Thank you. Okay. I lost my question. Hold on. I'm editing your question, whoever you wrote this, so be aware of that. If elected, how would you keep your independence from the top 3 campaign contributors' influence on you? Did that make sense? No. I'm trying to change this directly. If elected, how would you keep from having your top 3 campaign contributors pay a great deal of influence on you? And we're starting with Angie Reyes English.
Well, since my time as city clerk, I've always been an independent voice, an independent mind. I always research and listen to the department heads and those that are providing me briefings, including our city manager. I've never been afraid to speak my mind and ultimately share my thoughts on the council. And it's to benefit the community. It's nothing more than that. There's some information that I have to use discretion, that a lot of other folks in the community don't have that privilege. It's privileged information. There's some of that I'd like to share with you tonight. Unfortunately, I'm being cautious. However, I'd like the opportunity to speak to you one-on-one if there's ever any concerns that you may have, that you don't have an understanding or would like to know more on how I voted on something or didn't vote on something or abstained on something. And I think it's important. And so my doors are always open to you. I'd like to hear from you because ultimately I want to move the agenda that helps those community members that benefit Hawthorne, because this city needs to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Toledo.
Well, that's going to be very, very hard for me to fight off those people, because it's my mother, it's my sister, and it's my brother, and none of them live here in Hawthorne, so we don't have to worry that I'm going to have to do anything extra for them. As a matter of fact, money's tight. This is the first time I've ever run for office, and I've had to dish out a lot of my own money to make this happen. And a lot of my friends and family and some of the guys that are in my foundation, those are the ones that have been giving me the money. But I don't have any. I haven't gotten any big money. If you guys know where I can go get it and maybe run a risk of getting in trouble, I don't know. But it's my mom and dad, and they're stuffing envelopes for me too, and they're 94 and 81. Okay, so I'll just tell you where my help is coming from.
Francis Stiglitz.
Yes. I'm not asking for any donations. In fact, I don't want any donation because I don't want to belong to anybody. I want to listen to the citizens of Hawthorne, and I want to do my utmost to help them. So I haven't received 1 cent from anybody else. I just have my own money, and whatever I'm going to spend, I'm going to spend. I told my son Sunday, I said, I'm going to go all the way now. So they may have a little bit less, but I'm not asking for 1 penny. If I get 1 penny, I'll send it back. I want to belong to myself and help the citizens of Hawthorne. I love the people here. I've been here for 68 years, and I loved every minute of it. I want to save my home for my grandkids, so the grandkids
Thank you. Katrina Manning.
Okay.
Thank you. I am independent. I came here tonight with my husband and my daughter Sophia, who's 10, and my husband are the 2 people that have my ear. Those are the people that help me to make my decisions along with God. So when I have a decision to make, I make that decision by myself. I don't listen to outside influence. And when I focus on making a decision, my decision is based on what is most important for the residents, what is most important that people will benefit from, because that's the type of person I am. I'm the type of person that want to see people get their fair shot. I want to be fair. I want to make sure that whatever I do, at the end of the day, people appreciate the fact that I made a decision that was based on benefiting them. So I'm independent. I haven't gotten a whole lot of money. If you know where that money is, please let me know. I will be the first in line to ask for money. But no, I'm independent by myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Alex Vargas.
It goes back to that central question that I mentioned before, is how is the decision I'm about to make going to benefit the residents? And it should always benefit them in a positive way in improving the quality of life. So that's the central question that I will continue to ask myself. And I can tell you, sometimes some of the decisions I'm going to be making up there are not going to be popular. Because, some of the residents might not have the benefit of some of the information that we have. As a councilman, what the councilwoman said over here was correct. But it always goes back to that central question. And when I see that something's not correct, something's not going right, that there's lack of transparency, you guys have seen me kicking and screaming at some of those council meetings. And that's something I'll continue to do. Because sometimes it's not about being popular, it's about doing what the right thing is. So you have, assurance that I will continue to do the right thing for you, the residents.
Thank you. Gordon Michael Migo.
Yeah, everyone knows that I'm a very independent-minded person. I do things. I look out for the common people. I look out for the best interest for the city of Hawthorne. Any donations that I have received, individuals, businesses, they're expressing confidence in my ability. They're showing gratitude, thank you for the work that I've already been doing out there in regards to the mall, the hospital, any number of things, the Hawthorne Historical Society, the museum, etc. So basically, there's not going to be any quid pro quo, as far as any decisions that I make. It's going to be in the best interest of all the people in every neighborhood in our city, and that's it.
Thank you. How can you improve the quality of senior centers? That is, create a book club, social group for interaction and thus creating friendships and create working brains instead. That's what it says. And we're starting with Mike Toledo.
Oh, boy. I'm watching my parents getting old, 81 and 94, and they're beautiful, and I don't know how to answer that question. I would follow somebody's lead. I would like to be a part of. I like to champion the cause of wounded veterans coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan. That's really my cause. But the seniors is something that I would love to partner up with somebody. I wouldn't know where to start there, but I would be a follower in that, because I believe that that's very important, because they need things to do and they need to stay busy, and they need a right here and they need a right there, and they have to. Somebody's got to take them to the doctor. And
hey, I'm a senior. I'm 95 years old. I've been going to the seniors for 30, 40 years. I enjoy it. They have good food there sometimes, and sometimes they don't. We play cards. They play, they have pool tables. They're happy over there. Why don't any senior that's over 55 years old come over there and see what's going on? We have a lot of fun down there. I go there quite a few days, and I eat some of my meals there. Some of them I don't like, but most of them are really nice. And when I go door to door and I see a senior and they kind of feel sorry for themselves, I said, come on, why don't you come down and see them and get in with the seniors, because there's a lot of things they do. And they go on a lot of trips too.
Thank you.
This is definitely something that's a part and close to my heart. My mother-in-law just moved in with us, and of course she's a senior. And so I've been able to experience some of the things that she's had. And I know that recently there's been an uptick in baby boomers that are retiring. So we have a lot of seniors, and there's going to be a lot of issues that need to be dealt with. And I think it's important that we address the senior citizens' health concerns, because we have Obamacare coming up. We have all these health care issues coming up, and seniors need to know what it is that all this information that's being provided. They need to be able to understand that. So one of the things that I've already been doing, I've been going over to the Senior Citizens Center to talk to the seniors to find out what are some of their concerns. Also, being the president of Hollyglen Homeowners Association, we have a lot of seniors in our community, and I also try to find out what they need.
One of the things that I've taken upon myself is to be able to attend some conferences that are out there that address the issues regarding seniors. And a lot of these groups have recommend that we should start preparing ourselves for 50 plus, starting at 50, because of all the things that come up, issues. And establish some good relationships with AARP to be able to bring those to the City of Hawthorne. And along the years, over 2 or 3 years, I reached out to the senior center. And I was their, resident DJ, they call it. I played for them 4 times every year for over 3 years, because they needed somebody to help them out with bringing entertainment and bringing some lively affairs to their group. And this council presented an idea for the senior commission. So now, I congratulate my council colleagues for supporting me and establishing a senior commission in the City of Hawthorne. So that's been taken care of. And we really recommend anybody out there who's interested in applying to the senior commission to please do so.
Thank you. Gordon Michael Migo.
Yeah, having my parents that my dad Charlie turned 90 in 2004, and my mother 88 in 2005, before their passing in January, February back in 2005. I know full well for the 10 years that I assisted them at home with all the various needs that they had in mind. So I'm very well acquainted with a lot of the senior issues, and there's a number of other folks that are out there that are my friends of various ages, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and what I hear from those that go to the senior center is that the senior center does not stay open long enough. It closes in mid-afternoon. They'd like to stay open 5, 6 o'clock, have more activities. I'd like to work on that, and senior commission is definitely a very good one. There's also younger folks that would like to be on the commission.
Thank you. Angie Reyes English.
As mentioned, we were successful in implementing a senior commission, and so it's for those individuals that will sit on that board that ultimately will look at the issues at our senior facilities and address the concerns of the community and come up with ideas that could be set in stone in policy that would help our seniors along. It's important to provide nutrition, to provide resources and information for our seniors, and more importantly, give them the opportunity to, in my eyes, to live longer, to have a reason to do more. And so working with our Public Works Director and the folks that are at our senior facility today, giving them the ideas as well can be helpful. But knowing that we have a senior commission to address those ideas, I think is a great start, and I think ultimately those concerns from community regarding our seniors could go now to the senior commission and address those concerns.
This will be the last question. The City of Hawthorne is millions of dollars in debt. Why is this? And if elected, what would you do to help balance the budget? Francis Stiglitz.
Oh, I don't know what I'd do to help the budget. I wouldn't raise taxes, that's for sure. But I try very hard to get, like SpaceX, somebody like SpaceX come to Hawthorne, and some more of the manufacturing businesses to come in. And that'll help. Now, working for the county as the assessor's office, they increased our taxes 3.5%. So that's going to make more money coming into Hawthorne now. So they can use that money to help the city, help the budget, and then keep an eagle eye on the people that are spending it. I'd like to look through the books. Every time I come to the city hall and ask for something, they look at me with a...
Well, first of all, I think we need to look at our overspending. Recently, we overpaid the fire department money because we wasn't paying attention. So one of the things that I would like to do is to implement a software vendor alert. And what that is to put an alert on each vendor that we pay to make sure that we look at the contract to see how much we owe them and how much we should be paying them before we actually pay that contract. Because we losing a lot of money by paying vendors that we don't owe the money to. The second thing I would do is to streamline our business process, the way we do business, and pay attention to all of the things that we're doing. I need to sit down with the budget, go through the budget, and look at where is our money going, where could it actually be cut. We have a number of lines, itemized things that we have, and some of the things that don't need to be paid.
Thank you. Alex Vargas.
Okay, I guess the key to be able to overcome our recurrent deficit that we have every year is being able to promote our city economically. new businesses will create new jobs as well. So that'll be able to nick at the unemployment rate that we have here in the City of Hawthorne. And also keeping businesses from leaving, very key. But one of the things that I'm proud of, that I've been an advocate for, is the Hawthorne's Economic Development Council. It's something I founded, bringing together business people, residents, and city officials to come up with new ideas on how we can promote the city. The other one that I've been an advocate for is the Hawthorne Boulevard Specific Plan, which currently is going to be having some workshops out there for you, the residents, to give your ideas. And so everybody's talking about the Hawthorne Mall. Well, this is our opportunity to listen to what you have to say, what you think you'd like to see, so we can take it all into consideration and put something into effect and vote on it and be able to change our city charter so we can make some things happen. So that's key. Economic development will help solve the problem.
Thank you. Gordon Michael Vigo.
In order to solve our recurring budget deficits, which we've had for quite a number of years, and the budget has been going on, the approval process for a few months on end past its due date. Sales tax revenue is the number one generator of revenue in our city. And what the only way you're going to get past the budget deficits is to get the mall going, commercial, retail, restaurants, the RFK Hospital, where we are actually on our own making some great inroads. Major department stores, other retailers, restaurant groups, Regal Entertainment Group, Theater Group, they all have expressed interest in coming to Hawthorne. We need to get all the different players, stakeholders, if you will, including the mall owner, all sit them down at the table. Let's work it out and make this happen. Again, a can-do spirit. It's not a matter of can it happen? Yes, it can. It's just a matter of where there's a will, there's a way.
Thank you. Angie Reyes English.
As a sitting council member, I haven't been told or briefed, or even our city treasurer hasn't even told us that we're millions and millions of dollars in debt. So, had said that, I know that recently we passed a budget. I know that we worked hard and we looked at that line item by item, and we worked hard to assure that we came out with a working budget. And so it's my hope that moving forward, the economic development that we have with regards to the specific plan, with regards to being more inclusive to those that want to work in Hawthorne, want to build in Hawthorne, would like to open a business in Hawthorne, is very important for us to take a look at. We have to come up with revenue sources. We've, for far too long, have said no. It's time we start saying yes and look at some of those interests. And more importantly, it benefits all of us. I know there was discussion about not raising taxes.
Thank you. Mike Toledo.
Hawthorne has a lot of vacancies. It's almost like if you own a 20-unit building and you got 3 apartments that are vacant, you have to get them rented to get in more cash. And, Hawthorne needs to put a lot of emphasis on getting these buildings rented and getting people in there operating and paying taxes and selling things. And in order to do that, you have to renovate Hawthorne Boulevard, and you have to fix the parking. In my opinion, the biggest problem with Hawthorne Boulevard is the parking. You're wasting the center of the street, and every one of those should have angled parking in front of those, and that will bring the business closer to the door, and it'll make it easier for people to do business here in Hawthorne. I think if we can just accomplish that much, it'll because the problem is very big. It took 20 years to get here. I'm out of time.
They've been with me for 3 previous forums. They know. Now we're ready for closing statements. Each candidate will have 1 minute. We're going to go in reverse order, and we're starting with Gordon Michael Migo.
Okay. Again, Hawthorne, California, new era on the horizon. Our city is on the cusp of a true revival which will propel it forward in the 21st century. But it will need elected government officials, community leaders, business owners, and residents who can work together as a team and provide real solutions. for Hawthorne Mall, for shopping, dining, relaxation, and entertainment, the RFK Hospital, a full range of services, amongst other things that need to be done. I am known for my ability to bring together individuals with competing interests in order to achieve positive results on important issues that affect the lives of people. I look forward to the opportunity of serving the best interest of every person in all neighborhoods of Hawthorne. On November 5th, 2013, I ask that you vote for Gordon Michael Migo for Hawthorne City Council. And also, I want to, at this time, thank the Hollyglen Homeowners Association for their sponsoring the event, and for the League of Women Voters for moderating tonight's candidate forum. And
Thank you. Alex Vargas.
Okay.
I want to thank everybody for being here, for the Hollyglen Homeowners Association, for the League, for putting this on. It's very important that you get an opportunity to hear what we have to say. And I want to thank my parents for moving here into the city. I always thank them because it's important. If they didn't make the decision to move here, I wouldn't be here today. And I've talked about Hawthorne values. And we as a city of good neighbors, we do have them. We don't realize it, but we work hard. I mean, we're fair, and we respect others. It's something we don't realize, but it's something we ought to celebrate. And that's what I carry with me when I'm representing you on the city council, when I make my decisions. And that's what I use to be able to bring some good businesses that create jobs, which we have, and maintaining the high quality of services. But there is more work to be done, and there's things that, like I've mentioned, that I've already put into play and that the council has already put into play. So it would be great if you could vote for me on November 5th to continue the work and move forward.
Thank you. Katrina Manning.
Thank you to the Women League of Voters for putting this event on. Also to the Hollyglen Homeowners Association for hosting this event. Thank you so much. I also want to thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight and listening to what we have to say. I really appreciate it. Giving me this opportunity to let you know who I am and how committed I am to this city that I love. I've been a resident for 24 years. I have a 10-year-old daughter. My husband grew up here, born and raised here. Also, I'm the current president of Holly Park Homeowners Association, founder of Movies in the Park, and also Parks and Recs Commissioner. And I want you to really think about, when you get ready to vote, think about how committed that person is. How much have that person done? What have they done? What will they continue to do? Will they continue to work to move this city forward? Look deep inside your heart and really pay attention to how
Francis Stigler.
Look deep into your heart to see who really is committed to the city of Hawthorne. Thank you.
Francis.
Okay. Well, 68 years in Hawthorne, I've done a lot. I've gone to the city council and asked for a lot of things, and a lot of things were done. So I would, as I said, I'm your servant, you're not mine, and I want to hear what you want, and I'll do my utmost to get those things done. I'll walk door to door and talk to everybody and see what they want. I have done that, and there's many of things that they want done, and I still keep that in mind, and I'm going to further it until I get it done. I'm going to start a homeowners association on the two freeways in El Segundo and Hawthorne Boulevard. And I'll show you what we can do in a side of a year in that area. Thank you.
Mike Toledo.
This is a process of application, applying for a job. I haven't had anything less than founder, CEO since I was 27. I haven't had a job since I was 27. I've always been the guy that started the business, that kept it going, or started new things. And the latest thing was a foundation that takes up a lot of my time helping the kids that are coming back wounded from Iraq and Afghanistan. I like service. I enjoy being of service. I've got a lot of stuff that I can offer the city, and I would love if you guys gave me the opportunity to show you what I can do. That's it. I'd like an opportunity to show you, and all you got to do is hire me on November 5th. I'm work for peanuts. Okay? Work for peanuts. Thank you.
Thank you. Angie Reyes English.
My work is for the work of providing Hawthorne a strong voice in moving Hawthorne in a direction that I believe we are headed in that direction, a good direction. I've lived here more than 25 years. I have 3 adult daughters. I'm a grandmother, born and raised in Idaho. I have 10 siblings. I understand families. I understand the need for those economically, for those that have concerns with public safety, for those that have concerns in everyday work and life. I believe Hawthorne has a lot to offer. I believe as a council member we are headed in a good direction. I fight hard every day in what I do, and it's only because I'm committed. I do it every day in my work, prior work in the Assembly, in the Senate, and in my current job in the City of Los Angeles. So I believe in Hawthorne, and I believe in our residents, and I hope you'll give me that opportunity November 5th. Thank you.
Thank you. This seems like a good time for well-deserved applause for all the